A super easy Dollar Tree DIY that you can do. All right, so I picked up this pumpkin. It is so pretty. It has such pretty details. I ended up covering up most of them unintentionally. So if you're gonna do this and you want to see those pretty beaded details and different things, just use smaller flowers. And you can also cut this pool noodle down just a little bit lower so that the details just still show. But I took a pool noodle, cut it down to the size that I wanted, and then I'm just gonna cut a slit down the middle of it so I can slide in the pumpkin. So you slide it in, you wanna make sure everything is nice and centered. So I had to just cut it just a little bit more just to make sure it was nice and centered. And then once you do that, you can glue it in just to make sure it stays in place. If you wanted to use this as a centerpiece, you would put a little piece of wood on both sides so that it stands up, and then you would cover that with flowers, and you would use two of these pumpkins, so one facing that way and one facing the other way, so you can look good from both sides, if that makes sense. Or you can decorate the back in a different way. But if you wanted to use it as a centerpiece and you wanted to stand up, this little piece of wood right there in the front and the back would help it stand up straight, and then you would just cover it with the flowers. All right, so I have some Spanish sea moss, some faux flowers from Dollar Tree. You can just use anything that fits in with your color scheme. You can also do something like this for a different season, but we're doing this for fall. So I'm just taking those florals and you can just pop them off the stem, and then I'm just hot gluing them down. So once you figure out your arrangement, you can just hot glue them down, stack them up. You can put in some Spanish sea moss to cover up the blanks. You can add in some more little fall details. I have these little pumpkins. They come in a pack from Dollar Tree, and they have a little stem on them. You can leave it just like that. It is super cute, super pretty. But I do have this sign from Dollar Tree. It's a little faux leather sign. I had it from last year. Mine split in half. So it's still the same, but it's like two now. So I'm going to just take one part of that and put it in the middle of the sign. I did realize once I did that the little beads and everything that it came with kind of covered up the sign. So I just popped that off. It's just put on there with a little bit of hot glue. So I'm going to use that as one of the things to cover up the holes that are on the side, because this is a hanging sign. So I glued that back onto the sign to the side with the holes so you can still see the thankful. And then I have these bows from Dollar Tree, but they're too big too, and they are covering up the sign. So I'm just going to make my own little bow. So I just took some ribbon. I also got this from Dollar Tree too. I'm just going to make a little bow just to cover up that hole on the other side. And like I said, if you want to make this a centerpiece to put in the middle of your table, you would just do the same thing on both sides. You could put little bows on both sides. You can change up the other side so that it's different, but you can just do this so many different ways. I'm going to use mine as a leaner though. So I took and I put a little faux leaf on there, and then my bow. And that was really it. Again, this is just me showing you what you would do to help it lean if you wanted to do both sides or have this as a centerpiece. But that is really it, and this is how it turned out. It is so pretty, and just easy. If you like follow for more easy fun DIYs, see you in the next one. Another fun fall DIY. All right, so I got this little wood round from Michael's. I think it was like $1, but you can find these at like Dollar Tree. You can also do this in like a square. You can do this in a bunch of different ways. But I'm just gonna eyeball kind of the center of this round, and I'm gonna draw on the little scarecrow face. So you can do this freestyle. This was my first time drawing the face, so I just went with it. So it's real easy to do. I sketched it out with a pencil. You can, if you have enough confidence, you can just do it straight with the paint. But I find doing it with the pencil first just kind of helps out. So I drew eyebrows, I drew the eyes, and I drew only the black parts. So whatever was going to be a different color, I didn't draw that part. I just drew what I knew definitely was going to be painted black. So I did some eyelashes for her, and then I did the mouth. And when you're doing it squiggly like this, it kind of helps because it's forgiving. So you can go in with black paint. You can go in with like a Sharpie. I know that was like a white erase marker, but just I wanted to show you that you can go in with anything. I ended up going in with one of the Dollar Tree wood skewers because it has like a little pointed tip on it. And it was just better than any little small paintbrush that I did have at that time. Once I did the black, then I went in with some blue just to do around the eyes, and I'm just doing one little swoop. Make sure you don't use too much because I kind of was heavy with that blue, so it kind of bled into the black part. So you just want to make sure you just have just enough on the tip. If you're using a paintbrush, if you're using a little wood skewer, and then I did some white. I waited until it dried to do the bottom part of the eye with the white, because you can see right there it starts to bleed into each other because it was still wet. I did the little stitch like details that they do on the scarecrows on the mouth and on the nose. And like I said, I did all of this with the wood skewer. So just real easy, and it helps you get those little details. And then I came back in, I filled in the eyes, and I just went around those little white dots that I did in the eyes there. And this is also like the wood skewer is also great for doing little cleanups if you need to. I went in with some orange and I did inside the nose, again, going around all those little stitches and different things like that. And then there's a step that I did later on that you'll want to do right now before you go on to the hair. I have the hula skirt from Dollar Tree, but you can use like corn husks, different things. I'm just going to give her some hair. So I just cut it into smaller pieces, and then I'm just going to glue it on just in little strips. You can also do cute little pigtails and stuff right here. You can do it in different ways. You can give her a little bang. If you want, you would just, go forward with these and then trim the bang. But I did about 2 rows on each side. So I did one set of 2 rows going that way, and then one set of 2 rows going the other way, and they just kind of met up in the middle, if that makes sense. And they kind of overlapped in the middle there. So now I have her hair, I have her face. You can go on to the hat. Okay, so you can do the hat a bunch of different ways. You can do it in burlap. You can cover up something with some cute fabric. You can do a cardboard tube. You can do different ways. I have this right here. So this is kind of like a rattan type fabric. And I'm just going to use the end piece of it. All I have is scraps left. I've had this for so long, but I'm down to these little last scraps. I'm just going to turn it into like a hat shape. Once I have the right size, I just cut it, glued it together, and just be careful because it is hot glue. And I'm just going to hold it in place till it dries and just, bend up the edge so that it has that hat brim look to it. And then once that dried, I just wanted to give it just a little more of a fall look. So I didn't have any thin ribbon that I wanted to use around the edge. So I'm just taking this wider ribbon. You can also cut it down. But I folded mine in half, and then I'm just going to glue that onto the hat just kind of the same way. So I just overlap that, glued that down, and then you can add more fun little details if you want. I ended up adding a little bow, but you can add flowers, different things. And then I glued the hat down. And then I realized, I said, why is her face so flat? And I realized I wanted it to look like a wood round, like one of the wood slices. So I came in with a wet paintbrush and this brown paint, and I'm just going around the edge. And then I came in with this Dollar Tree paint. It's like a tan kind of paint, and I went over that just around a little bit above the edge just to kind of give it that wood round look. And that was it. It's so quick, so simple. If you like, please give it a big old like. Let's make this super quick. A Dollar Tree fall wreath DIY. Okay, so I have this beaded wreath form from Dollar Tree, but you can get a set of 3 from Dollar Tree for $1.25 and use a bigger one. Just take the beads off or buy the single of beads. But I'm just going to make this small little version right here. I have this pool noodle that I also got from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut a little small piece off of it. If you had a bigger wreath, you would make a bigger piece because you would want just a little more floral on there. But I'm just going to take a little piece. You can also cover this like the halfway. You can do this in so many different ways. I'm just going to take that pool noodle, cut that little piece, and then cut it open so I can slide it over the beads there, and then you can glue that down. You can tape it down. You can do a whole bunch of different things, but you just want to close it up so that it does stay in place. And then you maybe want to press it together just until the glue dries so that everything does stay in place. And then Dollar Tree has a ton of great little faux florals that you can grab right now to make like a lot of great fall projects. You can just put them in a vase and go on about your day. But I grabbed a bunch of them, and I'm just going to take some, pop them off the stem, and then place them on the pool noodle. You can arrange these, like pre-arrange these, and figure out how you want everything to lay before you start gluing it down. but I just started gluing it down. So, and it's easier to put into the pool noodle too once you have the hot glue, because it kind of melts the pool noodle a little bit. But you'll just put some hot glue on the little end there and then hold it in place for a little while it dries, and then go on to the next piece. And you can do this in so many different ways. Like I said, you can get really, really creative with this. It is just like a fun, easy, quick project to do, and it doesn't really take a lot of time, but it is a great little wreath to make. And you can put this on your front door. You can do this for around the house. You can do this too, the same kind of thing, for a centerpiece, and just put something at the bottom to help it stand up. You can do this in so many different ways. But I took and I played around with different leaves from the Dollar Tree, the different faux florals, and like I said, I popped them off the stem, glued them down, held them into place, and then to help fill in just some of those spaces, if you don't want to do too much florals, you can take some Spanish moss, also from the Dollar Tree, and you can glue that down just to fill in some of the spaces. You can do that before you start, or you can do it after you start. It's best to work in small sections so the glue doesn't dry, and just want to make sure that you don't burn your hands when you are doing this. You can do around the edges too, and just give it just a little filler. You can also add some cute little bows to this too if you want it, but you can do this however fits your personal style. So I just did around the edges and just a little bit on the top just to give it some filling. I finished filling it in with all the different faux florals, and then I just added a little bow on top from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack for $1.25. You get two of the same, and this is how it came out. If you like, follow for more fun and easy, quick DIYs. Another quick, easy fall DIY. Okay, I got this wood gnome around maybe a couple of weeks ago from Dollar Tree. So it was in the crafting section, but it's like kind of a summer 4th of July. So I'm just going to give it a fall makeover, but you can really do this for any holiday, any season. I'm going to just take and paint his beard white, just nice and simple. And then around the edges, I'm just going to come in with a smaller brush, and this is just like a snow white. I'm just going to give it one coat because I don't want it to have too much coverage. I'm not a big fan of too much coverage. For some things, yeah, but for most like wood projects, I like the wood to kind of peek through and give it like a little rustic look. So I did his beard, and then with this chestnut color, I'm going to do his nose, and I'm just going around just in a circle. You don't have to tape off anything. And I like these wood gnomes because they do have little levels of elevation, so it is easier to paint and distinguish, each part. And then for the bottom, I'm going to cover it in this Dollar Tree plaid vinyl. Okay, I'm using a little strip that I had left, but you could cover it in one piece, and then you wouldn't have to worry about lining it up like I do. So I'm just going to take and cut the strips into little strips, because like I said, I'm using a scrap piece of it, and then I'm just trying to line up the checks so that they kind of go together. Once you have the piece, you can push it into the corners so that everything, or you can take the backing paper and make the shape. You can do this a few different ways. But I have this little X-Acto knife set from Dollar Tree, so I'm just putting one of those on, and then I'm just going to cut into those corners. Like I said, you could do this with paper before so that you have like the perfect shape and you don't have to worry about going around the edges. And if you were doing one piece, you would lay everything down and go over that at one time. But I did all of that, and then now I'm going to do the top for his hat. I was thinking about coming in with fabric, but then I said, let me just paint it black. And like I said, this would be good for any holiday. Even in this, just these colors, this would be good for Christmas. You can put some Christmas florals on here, and then you would have a Christmas gnome. But we're making a fall gnome, so I did the whole top there with just some jet black. And then you can still see the star. Like, you don't see it, but you can see it. So I have these stickers, and I think they're so cute, and they say fall to me, from Dollar Tree, and they come and they're just like that clear back, so you don't see anything. And so I'm just going to take and put some of these stickers around the gnome just to give it that kind of that fall look. So I put one on the star to cover that up, and then I took and put a few more into his beard, and then some of those like leaf like pieces that were blowing around. But if he had hands, I would do like him holding the little flowers too, but I didn't. I cut this out with my Cricut, but Dollar Tree has a lot of fun stickers and stuff for fall. but I just cut this out. I'm using this a lot, it seems, this fall. But Cricut does have a ton of nice fall like signage and stuff that you can use. And then I decided I didn't want him to hang up because he has a little hook so he can hang up. So I just wanted it to be on a stand. So I'm just taking that same chestnut brown and this scrap piece of wood that I got for free from Home Depot, and then some Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to make a little bow to cover up that little hole at the top of the head where the ribbon would go. So I just took some of the a hula skirt from Dollar Tree and then some twine, and I made a cute little bow, but you can make it with some ribbon or whatever you like. And then I covered that, put that on with glue, and then I'm gluing the Jenga blocks to the back right at the edge so that I can glue it to that little scrap piece of wood there. And then now it's a little standing piece. So if you like, give it a big old thumbs up and follow for more easy, fun, quick DIYs. See you in the next one. Fall is here and I'm loving pumpkin decor. All right, so Dollar Tree has these. They have these stacked ones, and then they have these rectangular shaped like pumpkin decor pieces. They are all so cute. I love the colors in like that bluish green one. So I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna make those go with those, if that makes sense. So you can take these apart. You'll just have to find a good spot to get in there and pry it apart. My paper did come off, but that's okay. We're going to be changing up that one. So I'm just taking off the paper so that it doesn't show in the front. And then you could take the paper off of here in the front and then do your painting or whatever here. But it is kind of like a paper like material. So it's better if you probably use the back. So I just took the sticker off of that. And I'm going to paint it this orange spice color because it goes with the leaf and the grateful sign that is on the other one that we're going to be leaving just as is. I'm going to give that one coat of paint around the whole front and a little bit on the sides there, and then set that aside to dry. Once that is all dry, then I'm going to come back in and just do a little crackling. So I have Elmer's glue, and you can just use regular school glue too. It doesn't have to be Elmer's. And I'm just going to give a coat of that all over top to bottom. You can just do it in a certain section if you want. But and then once I'm done putting that on, I'm gonna come right in and I'm gonna put this toasted marshmallow on. I love this color. It is so nice for fall. So I'm just gonna give that one coat of that too. You can put a little bit around the sides too if you want with that. And once you're done applying that, you can just set that aside and let that dry. I'm gonna just use my blow dryer because most people do have one, and I'm just gonna dry that so you can see it starts to have that cute little crackling effect. You can put it on hot and high, and it doesn't take that long to for you to start seeing the results of it. So this is real easy, real quick, and you can do this with a lot of different stuff. And then you can see that nice orange coming through there too, which I really, really love. So once that was done, dry, then I'm just going to take and put some twine around the top of the stump there. So I just start by tying that off and then going around. You can glue it at this point, but you really don't have to glue the bottom. Just when you get to the top, you can glue the top, the front, and the back of that. And then I came back down and tied it off, cut that. You can add a little cute little bow here if you want. And then just to elevate this from the other side, I'm just going to take a few little Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree. I'm going to hot glue those down and then hot glue this on. You're going to make sure it lines up so that everything can stand up straight. So when you're putting it down, you want to make sure that you can stand it up. And then for this one, I'm just going to give it just a little retouch. I'm just going to make a little messy bun here. So I have some ribbon from Dollar Tree, some scrap fabric, some twine from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take and put all those together, stack them up, and then tie it with a piece of twine, and then just arrange them in a cute little way, and then hot glue that to the little pumpkin, and then hot glue back that little straw-like bow that they originally had on there. Mine did slip a little bit because I dried it after I glued it here straight up so that everything would dry nice. So my bow did slip a little bit, so you can see a little bit of glue. So I'm gonna go back in and add just a little more ribbon, but it goes so nice with the other pumpkins that we did make. So if you like, follow for more easy, fun DIYs. Let's make this easy fall decor piece. It's going to be a scarecrow. I'm using this glass vase from Dollar Tree, and one of the hula skirts, I just cut the pieces off. You can also make these with wine bottles. You can make these with other things. You can also paint this too, but I think the little straw from the hula skirt gives it kind of like a fall vibe. I'm going to also take some of those pieces. I took about six and fold them in half, and then I'm just going to make little pigtails. So I'm just looping it around my finger, but you can loop it around something else just to hold it secure, and then just give it a loose little braid, just to, or you can give it a twist if you want. You don't even have to do the pigtails. You can also add some color, some ribbon in here too, if you wanted just to add just a little bit extra. But once I was done, I just tied it off at the end. I left a little bit out at the end, and then I'm just going to glue it down to the vase just to give it a little girl look, because the scarecrow can be boy, can be girl, but I wanted to make a cute little girl scarecrow. So I'm going to do that for both sides. And then once I was done with that, I'm just going to paint a face on. I'm going to freestyle it. If you have a Cricut, you can make nice, neat lines with your Cricut. You can just do some vinyl, but you can also freestyle it, because the scarecrow's face doesn't have to be perfect. So I just took some paint, made a squiggly little mouth there, and then I did a nose and then some eyes. If you want, you can, because I'm going to fill my nose in later. You can do the inside of the nose first, wait for that paint to dry, and then come back and do the rest. But I just did the outline first. Also, I would put my eyes up higher. You can put your eyes anywhere, but I think it'll make it look brighter if the little balls in the eyes are up higher. Then I had this spare piece of rattan. I was at first going to use some burlap to make the little hat, and then use some cardstock paper just to help it keep its shape. But then I found this spare piece of rattan type fabric that I did have around, so I'm going to make the hat out of that. The tape piece that I used there for my template to make the circle was the same size as the vase. So I just made about three of those pieces, and I'm just going to hot glue them to the top of the vase there. But like I said, you can make your hat in so many different ways. So I have the three, and you can see it has a little bit of spacing in between. So I'm just taking spare pieces that fell off, and I'm filling those pieces in. And then for the top, I'm just going to make a top for the hat with the same rattan fabric. But like I said, you can make your hat out of burlap. You can make it out of ribbon. If you want it to be nice and stable and stiff, cardstock is going to be able to help you, especially with the top piece. And then you can just wrap it in whatever fabric, and then you can do like kind of a ruffly look on the bottom for the hat. And then I have these faux florals from Dollar Tree, and then you can place those around once you decide where you want everything to go. You can just hot glue it down. You can also add some ribbon. You can do this in so many different ways. You can customize this, make it so cute. So I did fill in the nose with some orange paint, and again, you want to wait till everything dries before you come in and do whatever other color you want to do for this. But I did the nose orange, and then I filled in the little balls and the eyes with some white. And then you'll be able to see, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel she looks sad when her eyes are down low. I think I should have put them up higher, but she looked a little flat still. So I gave her a little skirt. So I took this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. It's a wired ribbon. So I'm just going to give it a couple of little pleats, so it's kind of like a ruffly skirt. But you can also do this with some scrap fabric. I just did enough to go around the whole thing, and then cut that and hot glued that down. And then I went to look for a ribbon to go over. I didn't end up using this ribbon, but I did use a solid ribbon to go over the skirt. And this is how it came out. If you like, give it a big old thumbs up and follow for more easy, fun DIYs. Okay, we're gonna make these easy wood pumpkins, but I got all of this wood for free. So if you go to Lowe's, Home Depot near the cutting station, they have like this scraps. They'll just be on the floor. So all of this is free. Even the big piece the guy showed me where they were the first time that I went. And so I went, I think, like two times. So I collected all this wood in two times. And I'm picking these three pieces. This is just how they were cut, how they came. And it was perfect because they are all different sizes. I'm just going to sand them down, take off some of the splintering, and get rid of all of the rough edges. But this is so great because I love those wood decor pieces, and it's great because it was free. I don't know what types of wood you can get but it's just whatever they cut in the cutting station, the little scraps. So I'm gonna paint this first one with this nice like orange spice color. I love this one right here. It is so great for fall. You get these from Walmart, they're like less than $1. I think they're like 50, 60 cents for them. You're gonna paint around all of the sides, the top, and the back. You don't have to paint the bottom because it will be sitting on the bottom. I'm just going to do one coat on mine just to give it just some coverage, kind of a rough look. And then now for the second one, I'm going to do a spring green, which I also think is great for fall. Even though it said spring, it just really is a nice color for fall. And you can add a little extra distressing if you want at the end and do a little sanding. And then this one right here, I'm going to do in a toasted marshmallow. This is another one of my favorite colors for just about every season. But you can see this one goes on nice and light, and then once those dry, or while they're drying, so it takes some ribbon. I got this ribbon from Dollar Tree, so it's like a wired ribbon. I have some twine. I'm gonna cut a few pieces of that. I also got that from Dollar Tree, and then just some strings and other ribbons in different colors that you might want to play with. You can do this in so many different ways. I have this mesh ribbon. You can use ribbon. You can use scrap fabric. You can use so many different things. But I'm gonna do a messy bun. I found this on one of my pages, and this is, I mean, great for me because I do not know how to do a bow. So a messy bow is perfect for me, but I'm just going to stack the pieces together and you can just play around with it and have it however you want it to look. And like I said, this is also great to do with scrap fabrics because it plays into that whole messy look. So I'm stacking some of the string and the twine on top of the green ribbon there, and then some on top of the orange ribbon. Just making sure everything is laying out nice. It doesn't have to be neat because it is messy. And then once I'm done, I'm just going to cut another piece of twine just to tie everything together. You can also finish this off with like something cute in the front, but it doesn't, you don't really need to. So I'm just scrunching those pieces together. If I was using more ribbon, I wouldn't have laid those in there like that. I would just layer them and pull them all out. But I'm just going to tie that up with a couple of knots. So I went around a couple of times and just finish that off. And then once I was done tying it in the knot, I just played around pulling everything out into place. And then some of the pieces were a little bit longer, like on the white pieces, than I wanted it to be. So I just went and trimmed off any extra because I didn't want them to be wider than the actual wood pieces. And then I'm taking these wood stumps that I have. I'm going to glue those to the top there. You can use a lot of different things for your tops, your stumps of your little pumpkins. I'm doing that. And then I'm going to glue down the bows on top of there. You can also tie these around the actual stump. You can do this in so many different cute ways. I'm just going to add some Spanish sea moss also from Dollar Tree and just put that on top. Once I get done placing it around how I want it to be, you can just hot glue that down. It is so easy and so simple. These are like great decor pieces and they're just so easy and simple to do. And I love that I got the wood for free. If you like, please give it a big old thumbs up and follow for more easy, fun, fall and other holiday and seasonal DIYs. Let's make this fall home decor sign using Dollar Tree items. All right, so I found this sign at Dollar Tree in the crafting section, and then they had these cute little picture frames that you can get, and it has like a little clip on it. You can just pop that back right off there, and then that way you'll be able to lay it flat. So first we're going to start out with the sign. So I'm just going to do a little bit of decoupage with the Dollar Tree napkins. They do come full. I had used the other side for something else, but you'll just take it apart so that you have the layer with the print on it. And then I'm just going to cut around the edges so we can take away some of that white that is there. You can paint underneath and then the white would blend in, but I like the wood color. I think that's just like a nice natural color. So once I trimmed as close as I could have got a little closer, but once I trimmed as close as I could, I just took and applied a thin layer of Mod Podge down where the print or the napkin was going to be going down. So I applied that and then directly applied the napkin to that. And you can see it like kind of laps over, but that's okay because I really just want the pumpkin print and then it looks like it's, coming out. So I flattened that as best as possible. And then I went over it with a bit of Mod Podge too. So you can still see a little bit of those white parts, but not that much, especially once you go over again with the second layer of Mod Podge. And then I'm just going to set that to the side and let that dry. I'm still playing around with the idea in the head. I grabbed two of these. but they are kind of big compared to it. So this is how it looks dried, and you can see that white kind of like blends in there. And then I'm going to take and put a little bit of faux greenery on there. So I'm thinking if you wanted to do the picture frame and have it as a cute little picture frame or something like that, then you probably wouldn't do the greenery because it becomes a bit overwhelming. So you wouldn't do that. You could do like a cute wood pumpkin there or something like that. But I just applied those few pieces. So like the leaf in the middle, and I flatten that out as much as possible. And then these little green stems here, you can also do little leaves. You can do a bunch of cute little things. And you can also do the sign for a different holiday. So if you're not looking to make fall decor, you can take the same method and make you like a cute piece of Christmas decor or whatever season you might be in. But you can see the picture frame is too big once I applied the greenery down. So I left that out and we're going to save it for a different project. You could also make this a sitter, just putting something behind it so it can stand up. But I think it looks cute as a hanging sign. You can attach a bow there in the middle. You can just leave the greenery by itself. I decided to attach just a few of the faux leaves from Dollar Tree and some faux florals. So again, just doing the same thing I did with the greenery. I'm just going to glue that down into place, layer that on, and you can see just the like cute orange and the leaves kind of pop out from behind the faux florals. You can add some wording in here if you want, but that is basically it. And you have just a nice, cute piece of fall decor for this fall season. If you like, give it a big old thumbs up. All right, let's make a fall DIY out of these sanitizer containers. So you get these from Dollar Tree. I use them a lot, as you can see, but you can make some cute decor out of this. First, you'll just take off the paper. I don't want them all to be the same size, but you can leave them as the same size. And then you can really, depending on how you decorate this, reuse them, like use it as a different purpose. But I'm going to cut them down. So I'm going to leave one as is, and I'm going to cut the other ones down. I'm cutting it at the bottom, so just leaving the top one, but you could also cut it from the top. I just want to make sure that they stand up straight. So I have them now, and they are all three different sizes. I took off the paper and as much of the glue as I could. The glue is just really on one part of it. And then I'm just going to sand them down because I'm going to paint them and I want the paint to be able to stick to them. You could probably do it without doing this part, probably spray paint them, but I just want to make sure the paint doesn't have any issues. So once I was done with that, I picked my three colors paint. I'm going to use basically the same colors that I used for the wood ones. So the orange spice and then the spring green and then just a white. So I'm just going to give these just one coat. I'm going to use a sponge brush because I want to do like a little texture. So rather than the strokes, I like to see just a little texture. So once I was done giving it a coat, I just patted over it to give a little texture. I did the spring green, then I did the orange one, the tallest one I did in the orange. And again, just giving it one coat and going over all of the pieces. I picked the green tops, or I left the green tops for these two colors, the white and the orange, because I don't mind the green showing through because it kind of gives it like a fall type look. So if you wanted to make sure it was fully covered, you would give it two coats. And then now I'm just going to take some extra scrap fabric that I had and make some little rag bowls. So this is real easy. You can also do this with ribbon too. You're just going to cut it into the size that you want it to be, and you can just stack it up. You can use the same color. I'm going to be using just different ones. So like this plaid, this yellow, some white ribbon. You can use twine. You can use burlap. You can use a bunch of different things. But once I was done stacking them up, I'm just going to take a piece of twine from the Dollar Tree and just wrap that around and tie that off. I tied it about 2 times just to make sure it was nice and secure. And I left the tails on there so that it could be part of the bow too. And then I just cut that. And that was it. That one is real easy, real simple to do. And it's just, I love it. I found that, I don't remember where I found the idea to do those, but those are so cute and simple. And then I'm just taking some, it's like the hula skirt from Dollar Tree, but you can use some straw and stuff. And I'm just going to take and make a bow out of that too. Again, just real easy, real simple. And I'm just going to wrap that with twine and then cut off the little tails there and cut off the excess so that I can have just different type bows to do on the top there. And then I'm going to take some Spanish moss, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue those around the top. If you were going to be using these as functional little containers at the end, then you wouldn't glue the Spanish moss at the top because you won't be able to open them properly. But I'm not going to use mine as the containers right now. I'm going to take these little logs that I have and put those on top as the stumps, and then just attach the little bow to it. I was debating on if I was going to double stack the bow, but I just did one bow, and then for the other ones I did add some of that in there. So you can do those different ways, and then this is how it came out. And I think it's a really cute way to reuse those old products instead of just tossing them away. All right, so I have this dough bowl. I use it every year to decorate. I love a dough bowl. If you don't have one, you should get one. Or you could just use a regular bowl. I got this bowl from Target, but for this DIY, we're gonna use the dough bowl because, like I said, I do it every year. I decorate it for the season, and this is an old DIY, but it's still one of my favorites because it is just so quick and simple. I took the Spanish, like the not the Spanish moss, the regular moss that I got from Dollar Tree, and I put it into the dough bowl. So I just got up every piece that I could get up. I think that was about 1 or 2 packs. And then I have these like dried floral pieces. And like I said, this is an old DIY. I think I got these from either Michael's or Joann's, but I just placed them in the bowl and just making just a nice centerpiece, kind of like the other one we did, except this one doesn't have the candle pillars in it. So, but you could put candle pillars in this one if you did want to. But I'm just taking, I placed the florals in there. You could space them out. I placed some pumpkins that I think I got from Target Dollar Spot, and then these pumpkins from Dollar Tree. So you can just do this to fit in with your color scheme. You can just do this, like you see mine, it's just like more of neutral colors for the season, but you can do this with more vivid colors, like in your pumpkins and things like that. I took some faux florals, I popped those off of the stem, and I just placed those around. And then the greenery part that comes with the florals, I placed those in some places too. So you can just, like I said, really play around with this till you get the look that you want. And just to continue to fill it in, I took the little faux berries, and I was just showing that you can use a block, to lift up if you don't want to fill the whole thing with the moss. Then I'm just placing those berries. I pop those off the stem to cut those off the stem. Put those right there, and then placed those around. Like I said, you can add a candle pillar in here. You can add something else, but this is mine is just real simple, neutral, and it's just a way to make a nice centerpiece for the season. And you can do this for any season. So if you want to do this for Christmas, you can just change up the colors. But this is how it turned out. So quick and so easy. Now for this DIY, all right. So this is another oldie but goodie. This is a really simple and easy one. So I have this stretch velvet fabric, and you can see it's just a bunch of scraps I have here. I did mine about 15 by 15 inches, I believe. And then you can see the cuts are not perfect because I am working with scraps, but I just didn't want them too rugged looking. So I just cut off the excess. And then I took some twine from Dollar Tree, but first I filled it with the extra scraps. So I cut a scrap piece and then filled it with the extra straps. This is stretch velvet, so I'm able to stretch it out, but you just want to make sure that your piece is big enough to make into that pumpkin shape. And then once you have that, or that circle shape, once you have that, I took and wrapped around some twine just to help it really hold its place as I continue to wrap the twine around. So this is making like the stem for the pumpkin. And I'm going to do this nice and tight because this is the stem, like I said, and it becomes flexible. So you can just bend this and do this different ways. You don't want too much fabric in the stem of the pumpkin, so you just cut away excess, but you'll do it a little bit at a time to make sure that you don't cut too much, because it's better to cut a little bit at a time than cut too much. And I'm just wrapping it around. You can do it nice and tight, close together, or you can just go back over it a few times if you don't do it close together, but you just want to cover up that fabric that is there. As I get to the top, I just continue to thin it out because you want it to go from thick to thin, and then I tie it off once I am done. You can burn the twine to make sure you don't have any fuzzies or anything like that, but this is how it came out. And so just another way to just make some nice fall decor using your scrap fabrics if you have a ton of them like me. Let's make this easy Dollar Tree lantern decor piece. All right, so I have this picture that came from Dollar Tree. I painted it black from another project before, and then I'm just going to take these Hot Wheel tracks that come in a pack of two from Dollar Tree, and this is real easy, real simple. You can cut these smaller if you don't want yours to be this tall, but you can just bend them into place and then hot glue them. You can use like a stronger glue if you want also, but I'm just gonna hold that for a little while it secures, and then I'm gonna go on to the other side and do the same thing. So this is real easy, real simple. Once you place them down, they kind of do just stick in place, but you just want to make sure that they are straight. I went over with the second Hot Wheel track and I glued that into place. And you can see they're kind of going in the same direction. So there's two against that side and two against that side. This is just showing you when I originally painted it. That's how it looks. It's just like a little picture with the words on the glass, and I just spray painted it black. Now, once everything dries, I just spray painted the Hot Wheels tracks black. And then I have these beads from Dollar Tree. So they're like square beads. They have circle beads. They have a ton of different ones. They come on this string, and I'm just going to stain mine with this stain. And you can see you get a lot on the string. I think I used about 2 packs of this string for this, of the bead strings for this. But like I said, they do have other sides. So just to help them stay in place, I just take a wood skewer from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of a bunch, and I just put as many as I can on that skewer. I just gave my stain like a little mix in that way too. You can see how it comes out. It's a really light stain. And then I brushed the stain on. I came back and I did it with a sponge paintbrush because it wasn't giving enough coverage quickly for me with the smaller one. I didn't, you know how you normally when you do the stain, you wipe it off because these are beads, and it was kind of messy. I didn't do the wipe off, but so I have these beads, two different beads that I'm going to use for the top of this lantern DIY. So I have this one with a bigger opening and one with a smaller opening. Once everything dries, I just start putting those on the edge. You want to make sure, okay, because mine, depending on what frame you use, depending on how you do it, you might have a little overlap, like it comes over the edge a little bit at one of the corners, but you just want to measure that out. You can lay the beads out beforehand and do that, but you just want to hot glue them down with the holes facing each other. You will have a hole on the end on two of the sides. You can do some wood filler beforehand and fill that in before staining it, just to make sure you can cover that up. But I just hot glued those down, and then I hot glued the beads. Like I said, the bigger bead and the smaller bead stacked on top of each other. I glued those to that, and then this is how it came out. There is still some glue flyaways on there, but I will just take those off soon. But this is so easy, so simple, and you can decorate it for any season. Found these little faux leather signs at Dollar Tree, so you get too thankful, too blessed. And I wanted to show you, you can make a cute little wreath with these. So you could use any really pieces from Dollar Tree. They have a lot of great ones. But I have this metal ring. You can get these at Dollar Tree too in a pack of 3. So they'll come 3 different sizes. You get the bigger one, a medium sized one, and then a smaller one. And then these little faux leaves also from Dollar Tree. I'm cutting them down. You can leave them on the stem because you will be wrapping them, but I'm cutting them down, and I'm just going to make a real simple wreath with these. You can do this for any holiday, any season, but I'm going to take some twine, also from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just start off with a little knot here, and then I'm going to wrap it around to cover up what is left of those stems. And this will also help with whatever you're going to attach to the wreath after the fact too. So I'm just wrapping it around. You can go over a couple of times, and then once I get to the point where I want the other leaves to come out, I'll just attach those and just wrap it around too. So you can do this continuously. You don't have to worry about cutting the twine or anything like that. As long as it's in a little ball like that, you can just keep wrapping. I came back down over that, and then I'm just going to hot glue this off. You can also just tie it in a knot to finish it off, but I hot glued mine, snipped off the excess there, and then I'm going to attach that little faux leather sign. You can use just anything right here. You can use a bigger piece of a sign. You can use those little wood pumpkins right here to create like a different effect. But like I said, this is real nice and simple. They have those little faux leather pumpkins at Dollar Tree also that have little clips on it. I attached some other little velvet pumpkins, and this is how it came out. It was so quick, so easy to do. Now for this DIY, this is a DIY that's not a DIY, but you can always use those glass vases at Dollar Tree. Those come in different shapes, different sizes. You can use those just to make some simple fall decor. So you'll just take the Dollar Tree items and just create bowl filler for those basically. So you can use the faux pumpkins, you can use just some wood sticks, you can just use anything just to create a nice simple fall look. And a lot of these bowl filler style items you can find at Dollar Tree. A lot of them in like the floral garden section. You can get candles from Dollar Tree also to use in these items. I'm just gonna take and I'm gonna elevate my candle in the vase there. I'm just using the top of a spray paint can, but you can use just anything just to get it nice and just raise it up. And you want to make sure it's nice and even so that the candle is not wobbly. I'm just taking some faux greenery and I'm putting that around, but you can use just anything. You can use those pretty like fall colored leaves from the Dollar Tree also to do this. You can go higher up with it, like fill in the whole vase there. But I did it midway and then I took and I put my candle in, made sure everything was nice and flat, and that is it. So yeah, get creative with those Dollar Tree vases for the season. Let's make these yarn pumpkins for this fall. All right, so I originally was going to do this with cardboard, but then I wanted something to stand up. So you can use anything that'll stand up. I have this book from Dollar Tree. I have a styrofoam cube. I have a bottle of Mod Podge. You can use anything. You can use the cardboard like I was originally going to do. You would just have to put something behind it to help it sit up. But this is just real easy, and you can just use things you have around the house. So I originally was gonna go with this loop yarn right here because I thought that'd make a cute pumpkin. It's nice and fluffy. I usually use this for Christmas decor and DIYs, but I thought it would make a cute pumpkin, but I ended up not having enough because that's all I had right there. But I kept going because I thought I could find more. I thought I might have had more around the house, but I didn't. But you just wrap it around. So this is anything in this shape, you'll just do it this way. You can go the other way too for the other sides to cover that, the top of the book there. But it's just real easy. You just wrap it around. And then for the cube, you go around and you're going to cover up all of the sides. So you want to be as close as possible so that everything is covered. If you're using like a wood cube or something like that, you can paint underneath it so that if anything does pop through, you won't see that color. So once I got done covering those sides, I just tied a knot with the tail that I left on the end there. And then I started going around the other way, and then you go around the other way, if that makes sense. Again, just making sure everything is nice and close together. If you're going to be, there's two different ways you can do the corners there because you see I'm not getting the corners. You can do the corners while you are going around like that. You'll just need some glue or something like that because it really doesn't hold in place that well, if that makes sense. So you can do the corners like this, just going across and going over the corners, but you would do that before you did all of the outsides. Or you can do it, like I said, with glue, whichever way feels better to you, you do that. This one right here, I just want to show you, you can crochet something, you can knit something and put it around it, kind of like those old school toilet paper cozies that people used to do. This one I already did, so I just cut it open so the back is a little messy. But if you were doing it for the piece, you could just crochet it for the piece. And then I bunched it up at the top. I ended up adjusting that because it was too bulky right there in the middle. So I adjusted that. For the stems, I'm going to use these scarecrow hats that I got from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 4. And I think they make cute pumpkin stumps. So you can just take off the little pieces that are on it. You can take off the brim. And if you don't want to use the little plaid pieces, those come off too. They are glued. Just you don't want to be too rough because you don't want to tear the whole thing apart. So I used that for all 3 of the pumpkins. I just took off those pieces and just glued those on. And then I had my little pumpkin stump. And then you can just go ahead and decorate it with faux florals, sea moss, whatever you choose. You can do bows, you can do so many different things. But this is how mine came out. And it's just a fun way to reuse things that you have and just make your own custom pumpkins. Another quick and easy Dollar Tree DIY that you can do for this fall. I saw the sign at Dollar Tree and I was like, that would make a really cute clock. So I decided to make a clock. I have this wood charger plate. It comes from Target. It's the Hearth and Hand collection, but I got it like at a discount store for way less. So I'm going to take and put these two together. These two would make a really cute just sign too. You can add a little bow to this and it would be ready to go. But we're going to make a wall clock out of this. So first, I'm just going to take and get my drill, but you can probably do this without a drill. You just need something to punch that little hole in the middle. And this is a thin sign, so it really wouldn't be hard. But I always start with too small of a drill bit. And also, sorry, you're going to need a clock part, like the components from the clock. You can get that from Amazon. You can get it. I got mine from a craft store, but you can get it, like I said, from Amazon. You can get it from different places. So I'm just going to try to find the best center that I can find for this. I'm doing this on the back of the piece. So I'm figuring those two little holes there are kind of centered. So I'm just going in between those and then just across where I think kind of the center is for that. So I'm just eyeballing it. You could take your time and measure it out really great to make sure it's perfectly centered. But I think I did a good job. So I took and drilled that little hole in there, and then I realized that hole was way too little for the clock part. So that's the main part. You just want to make sure that it's big enough to fit the clock part because it has the front part and then it has the back with the battery and all of that. So you just want to make sure that your pieces can fit. So I did change to a bigger drill bit, and I think this still wasn't even big enough. So I just like wiggled it around because I am missing my bigger drill bit. But you just want to make sure that that piece fits in there nice and snug. Once you do and you put everything together, because of the back piece, it doesn't sit flush with the charger plate, so it will elevate on its own. But just to have something to glue everything to, I put these two little Jenga blocks on the side so that I can make sure everything was connected, make sure that's nice and center. And then this is it right here. All right, so it doesn't have 12 pumpkins, it has 13 pumpkins. So I'm going to number them. I was going to cut it with my Cricut, but to make it easy so that everybody can do it, we're just going to use these stickers from Dollar Tree. I'm going to number them, but you're not going to get a number on every pumpkin because there's too many pumpkins for, 12 hours. So, or 24 hours in a day, 12 times 2. I'm just going to place them and just really eyeballing it. But what you could do is take and put the clock on the times and then make sure everything is nice. But I think I did a good job. And then once that is done, just to cover the holes, I was going to caulk it and then match the color paint, but I just decided to fill them with some faux florals and just give it even more of a full kind of feel to it. So I'm just taking fall florals from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to put those in there. So I popped them off the stem, I popped a piece of greenery off the stem, and I just hot glued those down. You could take and add another little bow to this, but I didn't want it to be too busy. So I'm just going to take and on the back, okay, you can use this as a leaner or you can use it as an actual wall clock. When you use it as a wall clock, you can take like a thick piece of rope or something, you can staple it down. I would do that before this, or you can hot glue it down, or you can do a combo of both and see how that comes out. But you just want to make sure it's nice and sturdy because the charger plate is kind of heavy for this, but this is it. So quick, so easy. Another quick, easy fall decor DIY. All right, so I have this basket from Target. It comes in the dollar spot. They are $5. They come in other colors too. Usually for fall centerpieces, for any centerpiece, I use my dough bowl. But just in case you don't have a dough bowl, I wanted to show you that you can use just any kind of crate, container to make your centerpiece for the season. I took these two trays that I have. They're like plastic, so they were bendable. And I stacked them in the bottom upside down just to have something sturdy to hold these vases, also from the Dollar Tree, on. You want something that, the vases will be able to keep on. So I took those, put those on top of those two little plastic bins. And then I'm going to take some flow foils, also from Dollar Tree. And usually I just pluck them off the stem. But because I want them to have a little height, and I don't want to have to put anything extra in there, I'm going to keep the stem on. So I'm just cutting it like low on the stem so that I can have individual ones and they're not all connected anymore. I have these sunflower ones right here, and it's pretty yellow. I have these. Are these called sunflowers? Daisies? I have these too. They look like the other ones. Maybe they're sunflowers too. I have these. They came from Dollar Tree. I have these from Dollar Tree. Just a bunch of faux florals from Dollar Tree. But before I finish placing them around and figuring out where everything is going to go, I love to put Spanish sea moss on my pieces because it is a great filler to, fill in your pieces and stuff. So I took this fantasy moss, but before I did that, I took this decorative moss because it has like green, and then the green would be nice. It has a little specks of brown in it, but it had these cute little decorative pieces in it too. So you can fill these with pine cones, different things like that. But I just spread a little bit of that around, and then I put the Spanish sea moss on top of it because usually I just do the Spanish sea moss, but this way you add a little greenery to it, and it is just like a great filler. And then you have those little filler pieces. So once I was done with that, then I came back in and I finished putting in the flowers where I wanted them to go. If they are too tall, you cut them too tall, you can just bend the stem. And then I have these little pumpkin pieces also from the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has a lot of great fall decor pieces, craft pieces that you can grab. Those have a stem on them too. I have these leaves from Dollar Tree. I popped those off the stem though. I didn't keep those on the stem. And then to elevate the candles in the vases so that they're not low and you don't see them, or you could just use taller candles. I took these little tins from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack. I folded it at the base. It was real easy to fold so that they sit flat on the bottom. But you just want something, a clear piece would be nice in there too. You could fill it with rocks. You could do a bunch of different things. But just to elevate the candles in there so you don't see them. Then I have ribbon, also from the Dollar Tree. And I was figuring out which color I wanted to use for this, but I took this thin orange one with like a gold trim on it that I think is really pretty. You're going to measure it out, how much you need to go around your basket or your bowl or whatever you're going to be using. And then you can just snip it, make sure it's in place where you want it to be. And then you can hot glue that on the back there. You can put hot glue around a little bit on the sides too, just to make sure everything stays in place. And then I have this bow, also from the Dollar Tree, comes in a pack of two. And I put that on there. And this is how it turned out. It was so easy, and you can customize it to fit in with your home style. Another quick and easy fall DIY using Dollar Tree items, right? So I have this acorn piece from Dollar Tree. It's just like a flat little wood piece. So I'm going to paint the top part with this chestnut paint. I'm just going to give it one quick coat of it. You could also use a stain. You can do this in other colors. This might be really pretty in like a black with the white tile on it. But I did mine in this chestnut. Like I said, I just gave it one coat. I went down a little further than the top just in case the piece didn't cover the way that I thought it was going to cover. But you don't have to paint the whole piece. You'll just paint the top part, that part that will be out. And then I have this tile. So from Dollar Tree, you get these silver peel and stick tiles. They have a bunch of other ones too that you can pick from. I did this one as a project, and then I had an extra one because I painted one too many. So I'm just going to use it. But you can just you can give it a coat. I gave it a coat with like a toasted marshmallow color. And you want to get in there good into all the cracks and crevices, unless you're just leaving the base silver. But I did two coats of this. I didn't have a lot of paint, so I made it work though because I covered two tiles with this. And then for the top, I just used that brown paint from Dollar Tree because this paint is really forgiving. Like if you mess up, you can really wipe it off up until it dries. But so I just gave it like a light brushing just to bring out the details in the tile. And once that dried, then you'll have your tile piece. So to make the shape, I'm just flipping over the tile and using just a Sharpie just to draw out the piece. This is going to be bigger than what you need because it is the outside piece. So I'm just cutting directly on the line that I did draw. I didn't draw a line across for the top. So I'm just going to come up a little higher than I think it should be, because it's better to cut more than to cut less because you can't go back. Once you cut this tile, you'll notice the peel and stick part does separate. So you would have to use hot glue. So I placed it on there just to see what everything was, and it was bigger at the top than it needed to be. So I just cut that down, put on a ton of hot glue, especially around the edges, because you want it to stick as flush as possible. And then I placed that down. You can hold it into place for a little bit. And then I cut off the little excess because there was still a little extra around the back there. And then you could leave it like that because it does kind of line up really nice, and it really doesn't have a gap, the gap that I thought it was going to have. But I'm just going to give it just a little twine detail. So twine also from the Dollar Tree. And just to hold it in place because it's kind of like a curve that I cut there, I'm going to hot glue it just in little sections across the top. I'm just hot gluing that first piece, and then I'm going to wrap the rest of the twine up top of that. So if you do it below it, you'll need to, glue those in place. But I'm just having those pieces sit on top, and then I'm tying it off in the back once I have enough of what I want there, and then just cutting that excess off. So that part is real simple. You can also do this with ribbon. You can just get really creative with this, but I just did it with this twine from the Dollar Tree, kept it nice and simple. And then I have some faux greenery. Also, I believe it's from the Dollar Tree, but I just popped these little green pieces off of the stem, and I'm going to glue those down to the top there. And then I'm going to make a messy little bow to cover that little hole up top too, and just add another little detail. So I'm just cutting down some white ribbon. This is the hula skirt from Dollar Tree, so I cut that down, and then some twine, and then some ribbon also from Dollar Tree. I'm stacking those up, and then just tying that off with the twine. So it's just real easy, real quick. I gave it a couple knots, and then I cut that, and then I messed around with it, spaced it out, and then cut it down just a little bit more because it was a little bit longer than what I wanted, and then glued that into place. And that was it. You could add something to hang this if you wanted to hang it, or you could just do it like a leaner like I did mine. Another quick, easy fall decor DIY. So I have this leaf wood piece from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the little bow off of there. You can take it off and add it back on later. It's just really easy to pop off. I took the string off the bottom, and then I'm just going to paint it this chestnut color. Okay, I had different intentions for this project because we did the acorn with the towel piece, and I was going to do this the same way, and it was going to be like matching pieces. So I wasn't really gentle with the paint on the top leaf part. I was just worried about covering the bottom part and getting around all the cracks and crevices. But I did get quite a bit on the top leaf part because I was going to be covering it. When I went to grab the tile after I cut the piece for the acorn that we did, it wasn't big enough. I do have another towel, but I didn't want to paint a whole towel for such a small little piece. I tried to piece it together so that it would look like it would cover it, but it was still just little cracks and pieces that would have been left out. So I decided to scrap the tile, and we're not going to have matching pieces. They kind of still do match though. But this is just how you do the towel. You can get this towel from Dollar Tree. It has these nice little raised details. I painted mine with like a toasted marshmallow color. You're going to want to get into all the cracks and the crevices. If you go light, you'll just be brushing over the top part. So you really want to get in there. If you're using a sponge brush like I did, you can pat in there. I didn't have a lot of this paint left, but I did manage to get 2 coats on 2 tiles for this. And then once those dried, I came in with this Dollar Tree brown paint. And this paint is great because it's like forgiving. So when you are doing it, if you mess up a bit, you can just wipe it off. But I just gave it a light brushing over the top just to bring out those details and let it dry. But being that it wasn't big enough, I'm going to go over the top because I want them to look different. I want them to both stand out. So I'm taking the same color paint, but this time I'm taking a wet sponge brush and I'm painting it. And you can see it is already lighter, but just to make sure that it is really a difference, I took, once I got that one coat on, I took and I scraped off any excess paint with the clean part of the brush. So I made sure to give it a light coat. So the brush is wet. That's why the color is coming out different. You can still see where I was rough around the edges with that. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of sanding. So then it'll kind of have like a distressed look, and that paint right there is like lightening up just a little bit. So I just went around and did that around all of the edges where I had all of that excess paint at. So I wanted to give it something in the middle. So I have this rub transfer from Dollar Tree. They have a bunch of these out now. So I've used part of this before, but I'm going to use this like flower part at the bottom here. And this is just real easy. You'll cut around the pieces that you do want to use, and then you can place it where you want and lift off the back piece and then put it down and rub it on. It's real easy, real simple. The last few times I used it, didn't turn out too great. I realized because I let this paint dry for a long time this time, maybe the paint that I put it on was a little still wet. That's why it wasn't transferring, because this transferred just fine this time. But I did that piece, and then I wanted to do a little wording in the middle there. So the thing with these letters are they all are different sizes and they don't repeat any of the letters. So you'll just get one of each letter. So I was still missing an E But I have this rub transfer from Dollar Tree also, and it goes, it doesn't go, but it's okay because the letters are like, different shapes and stuff like that. So I'm going to use those, and I'm just going to do those one by one, lining them up, making sure everything is where I want it to be, and just rubbing those on. You see the little white pieces there? That's just part of the paper that brushes right off perfectly fine. And then that was it. I added a little bow to the bottom, and this is how it came out. It was so quick, so simple. You can customize it for your personal style. Let's make this easy fall centerpiece using Dollar Tree items. All right, so I have this old candle holder from Dollar Tree. It has been through some days. I'm going to give it a little touch up, and then I have this little wood tray. You get this from Dollar Tree too for $1.25. I'm going to paint this with this brown color. You could stain it. You could water down the paint and give it another kind of color, more like a stained look. But I think these two go together. They're black and it's like brown. It makes it look nice and fall. But you're going to paint around the bottom, all of the sides. Most of it won't be seen, but just in case a little bit peeks out, you want to make sure that it is covered. So I just gave it one coat on all of the sides. Like I said, the inside, the top, everything. And then now I'm going to touch up this candle holder. I'm just going to give it just one coat just to bring it back to life. Before I had did it, it was like an ashy kind of black, kind of gray, almost like a charcoal. But now I'm just giving it a coat with this jet black paint, and it just brings it all the way back. I love the color of it now. So once everything dried, I'm just going to take and you're going to put the two pieces together, make sure everything is nice and centered. So just a little bit of hot glue and just press it, hold it till it dries, and then you're ready to start decorating. All right, I have this styrofoam circle that I did something else with. So just to make it fit in there, I'm just going to cut off the edges. If you wanted to, you could cut the shape beforehand. You would flip the piece over, put the styrofoam on, draw out the shape, and then you can cut off the edges like that, and then you can pop it in. But I did it this way. I have these bows also from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of two. I think the plaid print one goes best with the colors that we're working with here. And then I have some faux florals also from Dollar Tree, some leaves. I have a bunch of different things we're going to take, and we're going to place those around to see how we want to do this. Once we decide on the placement of everything, then we can go in and we can glue everything down to secure it in place. I did start to glue, and then I decided to put, the bow on. You can go really nice with the bows and go like a lot of cute bows. But I just did one. Then I have this pumpkin that I gave a little facelift because it was a bit shiny from Dollar Tree. So I just added a little paint just to matte it out. And then once I decided, like I said, where everything was going to be placed, I started to glue the stuff down. I decided that I didn't want the pumpkin to be on the same level as the flowers. So I'm just elevating it. You can elevate it with some Jenga blocks, something else, but I'm just using this wood stump here just in case it pokes out. I'll be able to see that little wood stump there. For the pumpkin, you're going to want to hold it until it dries. So I'm trying to place the things around and dry it at the same time. But this is how it came out. So easy. If you like, follow for more. Hey guys, all right, so today we're going to be doing a easy fall decor DIY. All right, so Dollar Tree has this set of bamboo rings that you can get for two, but I had this embroidery hoop from Joann's, but you can get one from Dollar Tree too, or you can use these hoops right here. So first thing first, they have these little blue pieces to cover up the metal, keep it nice, but you just have to get that out the way. And then I also have this placemat too from Dollar Tree that you can grab, or you can grab any nice piece of fabric or you could even try this with a piece of craft paper, but I'm going to use this because I think it has a nice fall color. You just wanted to make sure you pull it nice and tight, and then I'm just making sure it has enough to lap over. So I'm giving it enough space when I cut around it so that it can lap over. Try to do a neater cut. It'll make it easier for the next steps, but you do want enough so that you can fold it in if you're going to be doing the double-sided sign. If you're not going to be doing a double-sided, you don't have to worry about how much and how neat it looks, because you're just gonna probably just cover that up. But I'm just gonna hot glue that around in sections all the way around. You can give it a few little snips if you want to help it lay just a little bit flatter, but just did that in sections, held it in place till it, kind of adhered. And then I'm cutting away some of the excess that was left. But it's better to cut more than less, because if it was too short, then you can't add it on. So it's better to cut more than less. I'm going to take some Dollar Tree rope. You can get the nautical rope at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to put that in the inside. This is going to kind of cover up where that fabric is cut at right there. And just doing that with some hot glue too. And then I'm just going to go around till everything meets up. And then you can just snip that off, or you can snip it off before you start and just hot glue that down and make sure everything is nice. You don't have to really worry about the seam, because we're going to be putting something over that. You can go in with another layer of rope and have two, but I'm going to do it this way just to give it like, kind of a fall vibe. But you can make this like more of a neutral sign if you go in with just, rope. So I went in with some little ribbon that I had, like this little I had them from 4th of July from Pack, but I went with that. And then these little faux florals from Dollar Tree that have like, that cute little fall look. You can add all kind of different florals to this, but I'm just going to go with these right here. And these come in different colors too. And then I'm just going to add these little faux greeneries, and then I'm just going to put those on the bottom there. So this is real easy, real simple to do. And I'm just doing 2 on each side. And then Dollar Tree has these bows in a pack, because that's a lifesaver for me. So you can put the bow up top, you can put the bow on the bottom. You can switch around how you do it, but I put the bow on the bottom. And then I'm just going to take these little signs from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put one of those on where I left the little string up top, and then tie it just in a bow. So if you did the bow up top, you can just add that to your bow up top, and you can put the sign on the bottom. You can do this in so many different ways, but you just hot glue all that stuff into place. And then I wrote on there "Hello Fall" with a colored pencil, just to have that little cute signage. And then, because we're making it two-sided, I want to cover up so that when it's the other way, you can't see. So I'm taking the same kind of bow, putting it on the back in the same position, so that it just looks like a full bow. I didn't have any cute full signage, so I just cut some with the Cricut, and then I glued that down. And it was really just that simple to do that part. You can, like I said, find some cute little signage, but I didn't see any right now out that I thought was interesting for this, so I just did it with the paper. And that was really it for that part. And then just to cover up the little metal part of the embroidery hoop there, I'm just taking that nautical rope again. I'm taking it apart because it comes in 3 strands, and I'm just hot gluing that around the top along with a hook to be able to hang it up. And that is it. It is just that simple. And you have a cute little fall double-sided sign that you can hang up for this season. If you like, please give it a big old thumbs up, and don't forget to follow for more fun and easy DIYs. This fall pumpkin sitter with items from Dollar Tree. All right. So this sign does have another side where it has those little beaded pieces on it, and it has another print. But we're going to change it up with some napkins from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use the back side of it. You can use that original print that is there, but I wanted to use these napkins that they have from Dollar Tree, and I thought these combo would be cute together. So I'm going to paint just the bottom section of it, not the whole thing. But you can paint the whole thing just based on how you want your colors to look. I am going to paint around all of the edges there, just in case you see them from the sides or what have you. And then I'm going to let that dry. And then once that dries, I'm going to come in with some Mod Podge, and I'm going to go on the top section. So I'm just putting the Mod Podge where above, if that makes sense, above where the beaded section will be, because we're going to do something different with the bottom section. So I gave it a good amount of Mod Podge there. And then just to make sure that I get all the way down to where the beads will be, I'm just placing them there so I can just kind of line that up as neat as possible. And then I'm taking one of the plaid napkins from Dollar Tree, and these come in about 24 in the pack. So if you want it, you can do a lot of matching cute decor pieces. So you'll just take that apart, because the napkin is 2-ply, and you'll be left with the printed section of it. And then I just placed that down as best as I could. If you didn't want so many wrinkles, you could apply this the other method, where you let the Mod Podge dry and then come back on and apply heat and what have you. But I'm okay with the wrinkles. So I just smoothed it out as best as I could with my fingers there. And then I let that completely dry. And then once it dried, I came back in and I cut off all of the big excess pieces. You can burn those off. You can sand it directly off. But cutting off the big just makes it easier to sand it off once you're done, if that makes sense. So I just cut around and then I tore around the other side. I'm going to come in and I'm going to straighten that line up because you can see it is rough and it's going into the other section there that I did need. So I just placed those beads down and then just came in with like a razor to cut it straight. But you can just do your best job getting that line straight, because if you apply the Mod Podge correctly, you can just tear it, but I just sometimes worry about lifting up the other portion. So now I'm going to come in with this napkin from Dollar Tree, and you can see they go together because they even have the little plaid print around the border there. So I'm just going to take, and I'm going to cut that plaid print off, though, even though the way that this does lay, you don't really see the plaid print. But I'm going to cut as close to the design as possible. Like I could cut a little bit closer, but it works out fine. You don't really see the little outline, but you don't want to leave the whole thing on. And then I'm going to apply Mod Podge to the bottom section there and a bit on top of the other portion, because the little stems and vines go up to that section. And you can see most of that is where I painted the white, and then you can see it pops out and it's nice and brighter than the other section. So like I said, based on how you want it to look is based on if you're going to paint the whole piece underneath or if you're just going to paint part of it. And now that that is dry, I'm just going to come in and sand around all the edges and clean those up. But I'm not going to sand too rough because I don't want to get rid of that white border that I did have there. And then now I'm going to attach some signage. So Dollar Tree has these little thankful signs. They come in a pack. So they have different words on them like blessed and thankful. And then I'm going to put back on those beads too. But before I do that, I'm just going to wrap some twine, also from Dollar Tree, around the stem of the pumpkin there. I'm just tying it off in a knot. You can glue it down at first if you want, but this works just fine. And then I'm just wrapping it around, staying as close as possible so that you don't have any little gaps. But you can cover this with a bunch of different things. You can make like a cute little faux stem. You can do just a bunch of cute things. But I'm gonna make a little bow for this also. So I'm just taking this ribbon that I also got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting 3 different sizes. I don't want it to be too wide because I want it to match with the pumpkin. And then I'm just cutting the edges there on a little angle. And then now I'm just going to stack them up and like pinch them together, wrap that with some twine, tie that off. And then now I'm going to finish gluing everything down. So that is really it for that part. You can attach a hanger if you wanted to hang this, but I'm going to make mine a sitter. So I'm just going to take this little piece of wood right here and then just glue that to the back. You can paint that too, but you really don't see that. And then that is it. Now I have my cute little sign for this fall, and you can customize these in a bunch of different ways to fit in with your own personal style. If you like, give it a big old thumbs up. Another quick, fun, easy Dollar Tree fall DIY. So they have these cute little houses. They're like made of wood. You can find them in the craft section. Then I have these labels. They come in a pack. And then I have these Easter eggs that I had left over from around Easter time. So I'm going to paint the inside of this little house frame here. You don't have to. You can leave it as is, or you can cover it with some nice craft paper. But I painted mine like a toasted marshmallow, so it's kind of off-white. And then just to fuzzy up those lines that these labels have right here, I'm going to go around the edge with that same color paint. And then because I don't want the streaks in there, I just wanted to have like a nice matte look. I'm going to take with the sponge brush and just pat down the paint so that everything is nice and flat. And then I put that aside to dry. And then I picked 3 of the solid Easter eggs and then 3 with these like striped designs. They had a ton of them. I think I got these at Michael's. And then I'm going to paint that with this spice orange, the flat ones right here, because they have, that's a nice fall color. I'm just going to give it one coat on all three in the front. And then for the others, I'm just going to give it a nice coat of this brown. Again, I'm just giving it one coat on all of the pieces in the front. And then I'm going to take that same brown and go on top of that, like off-white there, just because I don't want the same exact color laying on top of the other, of the background there. And then once everything is dry, I'm just going to make some little pumpkins out of these. So I'm just going to take and push together the bottom two pieces and then put some glue on top of the third piece and layer that right in the center there. And then it kind of gives it like a little pumpkin shape. For the ones that are open, I'm just going around the edge with the glue because you don't want to be able to see the glue through that. And then that is really it for the pumpkins there. That's the base of it. I'm going to take and write on the sign. You can do this with chalk and different things, but the chalk, can wipe off. With the crayon or a pencil, it stays on easier. Okay, so I thought about using these for the stump of the pumpkins, but it was a little bright for me, but I just twisted it into like a little spiral. And then I decided, like I said, it was too bright. And then I also thought about using these like pipe cleaners for the bow, because I don't really have any fall ribbon right now. Even though Dollar Tree did just start putting out their stuff, I didn't pick up any fall ribbon just yet. But I didn't like the colors, the gold that went. I didn't think it went with it just well enough. So I decided to take some of these white and off-white ribbons that I had from this 4th of July pack of ribbons, and I was playing around to see what I wanted to do with those. I decided to go with the simplest of the ribbons there, and then a lot of times in the CMOS, they have like these hard pieces in there. So I'm going to use those as the stumps, or as the, what do you call those? Are they called stumps? But I'm going to use that as the top piece of the pumpkins. So you can, a lot of times if you get the Dollar Tree Spanish CMOS, it has those hard pieces in it. So I'm just layering a few pieces of, like I said, the white and kind of off-white ribbon and a piece of twine. And I'm just going to tie that into just a simple bow. And it just gives it kind of this rustic look too. So it's just nice and simple. Like I said, I didn't go with the pipe cleaner because I thought the colors were just a little too bold for me. I glued the sign down, and because I'm not going to be putting the bow, I thought I was going to be putting the bow right there in the middle of the sign. I'm just going to try to fill that up with some hot glue so that I can just paint that close. I glued the little piece of the sea moss and then the back of the little pumpkins, and then I'm just gluing them down to the base of the sign, again, just around the edges on the one that is open. They do overlap because the space is not big enough for them to lay flat on their own, but that is cute. You can also write something else. So you can write like pumpkin patch, or you can write a bunch of things. I filled that little gap in with some black paint, and then I'm just going to take and glue the bow down. I'm going to glue it down higher up here, and that is really it. It is so easy and so simple, and you can do this for any holiday, any season, but I did mine for fall. And I also went back in and just filled in those letters just to make them just a little bit bolder. But that was it. Hope you liked. If you did, make sure to give it a like and follow for more fun and easy craft DIYs. Another easy fall DIY that you can do using items from Dollar Tree. This is another oldie but goodie, but I would still do this to this day. I would just change a few things on this just to make it more bold and just fun for the season. But I took these dowels from Dollar Tree, and then I found like a matching size drill bit, and then I'm just going to drill into this little scrap piece of wood that I have here. Now Dollar Tree sells these type pieces of wood, so you can just use that. So you're just going to mark out where you want it to be, and then you're going to try to drill your holes in the center of the wood there. If you don't have a drill, you might be able to use something else to make the holes, but you just want to make sure that the dowels do sit in there so that they can hold the piece together. Or you can use something else because we will be covering this up, but something soft enough to poke in there. But you just want to make sure that everything sits together. So once you have your holes, they are all lined up the way that you want them to be. You can take and hot glue your dowels in there. You can use wood glue to put these together, but you just want to make sure that they're nice and secure and that they're straight. You don't want them wobbly or uneven or anything like that. And then I took this little foam ring from Dollar Tree also, and I'm just going to poke holes that match those holes there. I'm using a drill, but you can just really just shove those straight through there. Again, I'm using some hot glue to make sure that everything does stay in place. And you can use this method to make a different piece of decor because, they do have those like decorative pieces that look similar to this, but we're going to use it to make a fall piece of decor right now. So once you have all that together, it has dried. I came in and I did paint this. So I spray painted mine white. Now I would probably use just a little bit of texture just to give it just a little extra texture. I spray painted these metal signs so they came all together in a pack, and I spray painted those black. Again, this is just another piece I did nice and neutral. I glued those to the sign. So you can play around with the wording on this and glue it and put it together however you would like. I believe I got this signage from Dollar Tree. Like I said, this is an old DIY, so I can't exactly remember, but I know Dollar Tree does have packages just like this with the wording all together like that. And this is how this looks. Now to give it a more of a fall look, we're going to take and we're going to add some faux florals around the bottom. This is another thing that I would probably change. I would add more florals. Um, I don't think I went heavy enough with the florals because this would be a really cute centerpiece for your table, but you would just, need to zhuzh it up just a little bit more. But I added faux florals, I added, some pumpkins, some different things like that. And this is how it turned out. This is quick, easy, and you can customize this to fit in with your own personal style. Another super easy fall decor DIY using items from Dollar Tree. So I have this sign from Dollar Tree. It is cute by itself, but we're just gonna change it up. We're gonna use it the back side of it, and we're gonna use this calendar also from Dollar Tree. It has a lot of really pretty prints in it, but I'm gonna go with the one for fall because we are doing a fall DIY, and I like the checkered print and just the leaves and everything. I think it'll work really nice together. So the picture doesn't fit the whole sign, but that's okay. We're going to paint that black. I had to give it 2 coats, and you really just need to paint the top. I did paint around the sides and the bottom, but you don't really have to go that far in because you won't see it. It will be covered by the calendar picture, but it doesn't hurt to paint that part. But like I said, I gave it 2 coats. I left this string that it was on attached, so you don't have to detach that, especially if you want to hang it, but you can take it off and put it back on. I am just showing you that the calendar picture, it doesn't go up top, but it's too big to go over two at the same time. But anyway, I took this Mod Podge. It's not black and the paint is not wet. The brush still had black paint on it. I didn't clean it in between, but I just gave it a good layer of Mod Podge just to cover everywhere where the picture was going to be going at. If you get some above it, it's okay because it does dry clear, but you just want to give it a good amount of Mod Podge, not too much, but not too little at the same time. And then I'm just lining it up. It's good because there's a little hole in it to hang it, so that helps line it up with the hanging piece there in the middle. Try to smooth out as much of those creases and cracks as possible, and then let that dry. You could cut this to size beforehand, but I just cut it after. It worked out just fine. You could also make this like a double-sided sign if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use just this side. I took a little bit of sandpaper and sanded around the edges. You don't have to do that part, but you could go in and do a little distressing here too if you like this distress look. I do have some nautical rope from Dollar Tree also, and I'm just going to give it kind of a border. You could go all the way around with it. You could do so many different things. Like a lot of times I come up with other ideas, but I wanted to keep it as simple as I could. So I'm just going to take the nautical rope and I'm going to put it in 2 spots, one right there and then one above where the line lines up. Just having it lap over a little bit so you can put it on the back and just glue that down. You can also staple it. You hot glue it. You will need to hold it in place for a little bit until it does dry. And this rope does fray a bit, so you want to make sure you get a good amount of glue so that you don't have to worry about the fraying pieces coming up at the ends of them. You could also use tape or something there. And then I have this bow from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 2, but before I put the bow on, I'm just going to put some faux greenery. This I don't think is from Dollar Tree, but the leaves are from Dollar Tree, but you can also get this at Dollar Tree. Again, a good amount of glue, and I got to hold it in place until it does dry. And then I applied the bow, and that was really it. It is so quick, so simple. The longest part was waiting for the Mod Podge to dry on the picture. If you like, please give it a big old thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can follow along for more and fun, easy DIYs. Okay, let's make this double-sided door hanger that you can make using Dollar Tree items. So I have this sign from Dollar Tree. It is cute. They have a ton of cute signs that you can grab. But I thought this one would be good for the double-sided because of the shape of it. And I like the front. It was nice and simple. But I'm just going to take off the twine that they have here. It was just held on with some glue. So I just took that off at both ends and just peeled up the extra glue. It came up really nice and easy. And then I'm going to take off the twine that they have stapled on the back to hang it with, because on this side, I don't want the hanger to show. So I'm just going to put the hanger on the other side when I'm done. And then I'm going to hit it with a couple of coats of spray paint just on the back, this white spray paint. Once that dried, this is how it looks. So I have the front, I have the back, and we're going to turn the back into like a Halloween sign. So I'm just going to take and sketch out kind of like a mummy drawing. It's real easy, real simple. I was going to do this with my Cricut and cut the pieces, but not everybody has access to a Cricut. So I said, I'm just going to draw it on. And it was a whole lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So you can do this, like I said, just with some paint. You don't even really have to sketch it out, because for the bottom part, I really didn't do a lot of sketching. I just went along with the lines as I felt they should be. And it was just real easy, real simple. But I did sketch out the front just to show you that it just comes together real nice and easy. And what you're just going to try to do is create like little bandages. A look of little bandages is just real simple. Then I just took some black paint and I'm just going to draw in those lines that I did sketch and just go over them. Try to go as neat as possible. If you do mess up, it's okay, because you can just come back in and clean those lines up, especially if you come in with a really thin brush. This one is a thicker brush, because I didn't want to have to go over and over it, and I wanted thicker kind of lines. But you can come in with a thin brush and get really good details on this. But this worked out really well. So I did do a couple of coats of this because it had like kind of an ashy look to it once it dried. But this is just real fun and simple. And you can also do this if you wanted to create like a door leaner, and you just get some wood from Home Depot, Lowe's, one of those places, and you can create this in really no time. And it's just a real simple, fun Halloween door like leaner that you can do. But this is going to be like a hanger because it's like a small little sign from Dollar Tree, but you can do this on a bigger scale and it would be just as simple to do this. Like I said, you see how that line was like light and you just come over it again. It's just real simple. And like for the bandages, you just do two of the lines going in the same direction, spaced out, to give it that bandage look. And that's how you just create the look of the bandages. It's really, really simple. And you can just take your time and figure it out as you go. And like I said, if you wanted to, you can sketch it out first with a pencil or something like that, and that makes it easier. I let that dry, and then now I'm going to work on the other side. Like I said, the other side is fine. It's cute just as is, but we're just going to add just a little more of cute little fall touches to it. So I have these styrofoam bowls. I use them a lot. I got the whole pack from Amazon, and I've gotten so much use out of them. I'm going to cut them in half. They come in different sizes. So I took like one of the bigger ones, the size after that, and the size after that. They do have a smaller size too. I cut those in half, and then I'm just going to cut little lines. You can also, Dollar Tree has foam bowls, but you can also use the bowls that are in the kids section, the toy section, like the basketball ones and stuff, but they might have more of a basketball shape to it. But you can cut those in half too. I use these three different color paints. So I painted two of the pieces the yellow, and then two of the pieces like an off-white. It was like called vanilla, and then two of the pieces that like rush this oranges color. Just like I thought they looked like cute for fall, just something nice. I gave those a couple of coats of that, got in the cracks and all of that, let that dry. And then to add even more detail, you could come in with some twine, put that in the cracks there, and just give it like another look. But I just went in with some paint from Dollar Tree. This paint is like a real light paint, so it rubs around real easy, but I just wanted something to go in there, and I didn't feel like going to get a skewer to do it. So I just used this pencil here, and you can see you just go on the lines and just give it a little bit of color. You don't have to do that part. You can just leave it as is. And then I rubbed it off with my finger, and then it just gave it like a little bit of distressing look. I have this Spanish sea moss from Dollar Tree. This bag goes a long way too for crafting. So if you see it, I would grab it at Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to create like the little stacked pumpkin look. So I'm just going to go in with the bottom layer of the Spanish moss, and then the bigger styrofoam bowl. I'm going to go in with that at the bottom, and then keep going up, stacking the Spanish moss and the bowls or the pumpkins that we made on top of each other to give it that cute little stacked pumpkin look. And because I alternated the colors, so each stacked pumpkin has a different color set, you can see. And you can do this on a bunch of different things too. I love these styrofoam bowls. I've made a few different cute pumpkins. You can make some cute snowmen and stuff for Christmas, but this was just real simple. Left it like that. I didn't put the sea moss at the bottom of the top one, but I'm going to use the beads that were on the twine from the original sign as the stem for the top pumpkin. And then I'm just going to take some twine, some ribbon, and I'm going to make the simplest little bow just to put on top of that, and it keeps it with in theme with the Spanish moss and the twine and stuff. It just all keeps theme. So I'm gonna just stack the little bow and then the little bead on top of that. One of my beads did crack in half because I did step on it, so I used one half bead and one whole bead for this. But it came out looking the same both ways. And then you can cut away any extra sea moss that's like going crazy, and then from around the edges and the bottom, because you don't want it to show, because it is a double-sided sign. You don't want it to show when you do flip the sign over. Then I have these 2-pack of bows from Dollar Tree because I've kind of given up on making bows. But they're so cute. They're for fall, and it's for $1.25 you get two. I'm going to reattach the twine that was there and then the bow on top of it. I did realize that it was covering the word give, but that was okay because you could still see thanks. And then I just added a little extra ribbon to it. And that was it. Now I have my double-sided sign, and I can use this for fall and for Halloween. And I think it came out so cute, and it was just so easy and so simple. You can add some cute words to your mummy too if you want. You can put like boo there. That would be cute. But I hope you like it. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. Now on to the next one. This is another one that is super quick and easy, and you can do this fall using items from Dollar Tree. I did get my pumpkins from Target though. Another quick and easy fall decor DIY. All right, so these are really cute. They're cute by themselves, but the color is not the color I want. I had them last year. I got them from Target Dollar Spot. They were $3 a piece. They're like a ceramic. I have seen some similar now at Dollar Tree that you can grab too, but I'm just going to give them a little bit of a makeover because, like I said, the color is not right. I could just paint the bottom black, but I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take the Dollar Tree beads that they have, and they have these like in the party section. They have them like year around that you can grab these, and I'm just going to put them like in the little creases of the pumpkins just with some hot glue. At first, I was thinking about just putting them in every other one, like spacing them out, but I ended up going back and putting them in all of them. But you just layer the hot glue down and then place the beads. You want to be quick because the glue does dry quick when you're doing like a thin layer of it. You can use a stronger glue too if you want to, but the little strip of hot glue worked fine. And then I'm just doing it to the top. I'm not cutting them beforehand. I'm just seeing how many beads I need for each crease as I go along. And then once I'm done, I just cut it because, they're connected by that little string there. And I just went around doing that around all of the pieces. So this is real simple. You can also do this to make like a glam type pumpkin. Like if you painted the pumpkins gold or something, and then took the Dollar Tree bead, if you painted them silver, and then took the Dollar Tree beads and you put that in there, and then it would give it like a glam kind of look. And then you can do the beads all top of the stem too, just to give it a whole other effect. This is another idea if you like glam DIYs, but this is going to have more of a rustic type feel to it. And I swear I saw these at some of the high-end stores, but I can't remember which one. But once I was done putting all of the beads on there, I just gave it a couple of coats with this Bear spray paint, real easy, real simple, and then I let that dry, and then I came back with this Dollar Tree paint. The Dollar Tree paint works good. You can also use like a wax or something, but because this doesn't go on in a heavy coat at all, but I just put a little bit on the brush, dabbed it, and then I'm just going to give it a little bit of brushing on the beads there, and then a little bit on the pumpkin too. But this is just real easy, real simple. You see how it went on dark, and then I had time to go back over it and then just kind of lighten it up by like brushing some of it off. And this kind of gives it, like I said, that rustic kind of look and kind of a distressed look too at the same time. If you want a little more of a distressing, you can do like a little bit of a sanding or something like that with this. But I just did the brushing on the beads, on the stem, and then a little bit on the pumpkins, but not too much on the pumpkins. So I did both of those, let that dry. And like I said, that part was real easy, real simple. And then I decided I wanted to jazz up the stem just a little bit. You can just leave it as is. Like I said before, you could go around with the beads on the stem there too. I'm just going to put some Spanish sea moss that I got from Dollar Tree. Once you decide how much you want, where you want to put it, you can just hot glue that down. Just a decent amount of hot glue will keep that in place. And then this is how they came out. I love it. It's just nice and simple for the season. Okay, let's make this fun, easy, quick fall DIY using items from the Dollar Tree. So I have this picture frame from the Dollar Tree, and then I have these little foam bowls. They're not from the Dollar Tree. I get them like in a big box, but I do have, you can probably get them at Dollar Tree. I have skewers, and then I have these little wooden logs. I'm going to cut the big ones in half. You don't have to cut them in half, but I wanted to cut mine in half. And then I'm just going to line them up to see how many I need. I grabbed a few more small ones. This is how the box comes. I got it from Amazon. It's just a big box of the foam balls. So once I had enough for what I wanted to do, I'm just going to play around with it. I have these little wooden stumps right here, but they're too long for me. So I'm just cutting one in half. And then I'm going to use the little Dollar Tree skewers on top. I was going to do a bunch of 3 on the top of each of the small ones, but then I ended up changing my mind at the end. But you can just cut those off, snap them in half. You can, however, just to make them the length that you want. And then I took out any color that I had that was fall, like so I took out like browns, orange, this one green. I wanted a green one. The color didn't give me the color that I want when I mixed them, but I wanted like a pretty green one. But I took the spice colored one and I painted the foam ball, the half foam ball. So I'm just painting like 2 of each color, if that makes sense. So you can do it whatever color combination you want. You can do these in a nice pretty like off white. I love those color pumpkins, but I just painted mine different colors just to give them that earthy pumpkin look. So like I said, I mixed that green in there, and it gave an earthy color. It did for sure, but it wasn't the green that I wanted. But that was okay because it still gave an earthy type look. So I didn't use all the colors that I had pulled out. I just used a few of them. This orange was a little bit brighter than I wanted, but again, that was okay because it gave it just an extra little pop. And then I have this sign from the Dollar Tree. I picked it up. They had put it out early, but I've already used the middle piece, so I'm just going to use the top piece for that. I glued that down to the picture frame. I had to put it on kind of an angle because it was kind of too big. Then I'm just going to wrap around some twine around the pumpkin. No specific order, like pattern or anything like that. I'm just hot gluing it back and putting it around. But just to give it like that pumpkin look, you can also get, I have pumpkins that I have gotten from Dollar Tree last year around fall time that you can get to put here. But this is if you don't have pumpkins, you can do it this way. So I'm just going to do that and hot glue them down. I'm stacking some of them up, so it looks like kind of like a little pumpkin patch. And then I'm taking some Spanish moss that I got from Dollar Tree also, and just taking a little bit and putting it on the top of the pumpkin there, and then hot gluing that down. You can use a little bow or something like that. You can use a combination. But then I'm taking the little wooden stump that I cut and gluing it down. And you can see it's already giving it, like, in my mind, a little pumpkin look to it. So I'm just going to continue to do that with the rest of the pieces. And it's just real easy, real simple. I thought about adding some other wording to this, another little thing in the corner over there, but I decided to leave it just this simple. But you can take this to another level. You can put a cute little bow. You can do so many different things. This is when I was thinking about putting them in a bunch of three, and I took some twine, some white ribbon, and I was thinking about putting little bows, but no, I didn't do it. And then I realized I didn't even need the bunch of three that I was going to do. So I just did one of the little skewer pieces in each of the smaller pumpkins, just real quick, real simple. And then I went back and added a ton more of the Spanish March. I glued some on the bottom, like in the little gaps there, and I glued some more on the top, just to give it that fall type festive look. And this is how it came out. So if you like these kind of DIYs, make sure to follow along for more. Another super easy Dollar Tree fall DIY, well, mostly Dollar Tree, and two candle holders that I have. I got these pumpkins from Dollar Tree. They're like a styrofoam, but you can see the stems of them have like this pretty gold detail in them. So these are two different candle holders. One that was something else, I believe, that I got from a clearance thing, and then another candle holder. I like the distressed one. I thought about distressing the other one, but I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm taking these foam pieces, styrofoam pieces from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of two, and I'm going to put those on top of both of the candle holders just with a little bit of hot glue. You want to make sure that they are centered when you are doing it before you like put them down. And then you want to press it, let it dry. Once that is dried, and you can start up putting on your florals and different things. I have a bunch of different florals from Dollar Tree. They have so many pretty fall florals right now. They have leaves, they have all kind of stuff. I'm going to start out with some Spanish sea moss from Dollar Tree. This is just real easy, and this bag goes a long way. I've been using this bag for a while. So you're just going to take and hot glue around. Don't do it like that all at once. You see mine is like dripping like wax. You want to do it in sections, but you will take and you will hold the Spanish moss in place. If it's too messy for you, you can trim off some of the excess once you're done, but you do want to make sure that you hold it until it dries, but try not to burn your hands too at the same time, if that makes sense. Once you have enough of that, however you feel, if you want to put it under, over, all around, I just did mine basically around just the edge there, but you can do it as much or as little as you want. And then I'm just checking the placement of the pumpkin, and then I'm going to start applying the faux floral pieces. I'm starting with the leaves. I popped everything off of the stem pieces, and then I'm just going to play around with how I'm going to place them. For this one, I'm going to do a bunch of the leaves. So I'm just putting them around, and you can see they have different colors, just like actual leaves. So these all come on one bush, like one piece, and then you can they have cute little different colors in them. And then I'm putting some faux greenery and then some faux florals also from the Dollar Tree. Once I decided where everything was, I'm just going to hot glue that down. Again, holding it in place until it is just enough, dry enough so that it will stay. And then I go on to the next piece. And this is just showing how you should apply the Spanish moss. You'll go in sections with it tilted so that it won't drip off like that. And then again, just holding it down, just letting it dry. And like I said, if it's just too messy for you, at the end you can trim away any excess that you have on there. But just going in sections like that saves it from dripping and being as messy as it was when I did do mine. And then this is how it comes out. And you can do this for any holiday, any season. And I just love how it came out. So cute, so easy, and so simple. Make sure to follow for more easy DIYs. Another quick and easy fall DIY using Dollar Tree items. All right, so for this piece of fall decor, we're going to take those faux stack books. You can get this at Dollar Tree, and this is so cute. I found these, and I love them more than the little crates that they used to have, but they still have the crates because these are bigger, so they look more like for stacked books. So I'm gonna pick this orange paint and then this white paint right here. I'm gonna paint the middle section white. You can paint in the creases or you cannot paint in them, just based on how you want the end product to look. But I gave that a couple of coats of white all the way around. So I did them one at a time. Once one dried, then I came back and just did another coat. Then I'm going to do the top part with the orange. I think this orange is giving more fall. It's the pumpkin orange than the other one from Dollar Tree. So again, I'm just painting around, and I'm going to go around all of the ways and the top on this one. All right, these colors are great right here for fall. You could leave it just like that if you wanted to. I thought about it after the fact. I should have painted the bottom piece white too, but I just went directly. I thought I can get away with it. But I went directly to the applying the Mod Podge and then taking apart the 2-ply napkin from Dollar Tree and applying that all the way around. I should have known when I was doing it, because I could see straight through it basically, that I should have painted it. So once it dried and I didn't like it, I sanded that off. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to paint and then reapply it. And then this is how it looks. I just cut off all of that excess there that I had going on. And then I tried to cut some wording with my Cricut with the Dollar Tree vinyl. It didn't come out well. So I'm just going to write it on with a Sharpie. You can do this with paint. You can do this with stickers. You can get a little better of a vinyl, or maybe choose not so thin of lettering and do it with your Cricut or your Silhouette. But I just wrote them on with a Sharpie. It turned out fine. I sanded off the bottom edges there. And then I'm going to reattach that little like burlap style ribbon that was originally on the stack books there too. You can put on your own ribbon that goes with it. You can do this in so many different ways. But I just glued it just in the front and in the back and just pulled it nice and tight. And it fits perfect because it was what was originally on there. And then you can leave it just like that. But I decided just to add a little bit to the top there. So I have these faux pieces of greenery and then this little scarecrow hat. They come in a pack of 4 from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to just stack those on. So I'm going to stack the greenery and then just place the hat on top. I'm applying it all with just a little bit of hot glue. I placed it around how I thought it would look best. And really that was it. So you can customize these in so many different ways. And I think it's just a cute little fall DIY. So if you like, give it a big old thumbs up, and thank you for watching. Okay, let's make these easy fabric flowers. All right, so I have all this fabric from Dollar Tree. I did this with the rag pumpkin. I just wanted to show you again that you can get all of this fabric from Dollar Tree. I cut everything at one time. So I picked the plaid right here because I thought it was cute, and I have these shower rings from Dollar Tree. So these are the ones you use to hang your curtains. They're nice and clear. You can use these for a bunch of different DIYs. So you might want to keep some of those on stock. And then I just open up the fabric and then I'll just cut it into little strips. You're going to make sure the strips are big enough to fold over and tie. You don't want to make them too short for what you are doing. So I just measured out how long I wanted it to look when I folded it, and then I just cut and kept cutting until the whole piece of fabric was done. And then I cut a few more pieces of fabric. I cut a yellow, I cut up some ribbon. I also cut up some clear mesh ribbon, but I ended up not using that. So you just take your rings, make sure they are connected because they do have a little like kind of latch there. You can hot glue them if you want them to stay in place, but once you start wrapping everything around, it does stay in place. And then you're just going to take your fabric strips and you're just going to tie them. So I just tied mine once, just nice and tight. And then I want to make sure that the fabric is facing outward because it has an inside and an outside. And I want to be able to see the print, but I just alternated between the different colors there. You can do the same colors, you can do it however you feel it'll look nice. And then once you're done tying it all around, it should look something like this. And then you'll go ahead and you'll pick which part you want to be the front of your flower, the back of your flower. And I'm just twisting around the fabric again, like I say, to make sure that I see the print because the inside is a bit lighter. And then you can take and you can trim so that everything is the same size if you want. You can leave it rough looking if you want. And then now you just want to figure out what you're going to do for the middle. You could leave the middle just open like that. The ring, not the ring, the ribbon holder was a great size for the middle. So I'm just showing you, you can take a piece of cardboard, you can wrap something around. You can, this is faux leather. Usually, you know, the middle of the flowers are darker. You can push something up so that it comes more towards the front, fill it in, close off the back. I'm just gonna take this muslin fabric that I have here. This is like fabric that's used to do drafts on like sewing projects. And I'm just gonna draw 10 circles while I'm stacking it up. I folded the fabric over and then cut these like in stacks. But I'm doing 10 because I have 5 flowers and I want one for the front and then one to cover it, like with the front and the back. So you just take and you can just stretch it out, and then I'm just gonna hot glue it on. You want it to try to be as neat as possible with the glue and with the cutting, because if you see the back of your flowers, you want them to be cute too. But I just took and I put the hot glue on in little sections, pulling it out, trying to get out some of those wrinkles there, and just to make sure it was nice and tight and not flopping around. And then once that dried, I just took Dollar Tree has like packs of wooden dowels that you can get. You can get skewers. You can use little twigs from your yard if you want. You can use a bunch of different things. But I have these cut down to smaller than what they are. And then I'm going to take a ton of hot glue and I'm going to put those towards the bottom of whatever I decide to be the bottom. And then you'll just hold it in place, let that dry, and put something to prop it up because it doesn't sit flush with the table. And then I took some hot glue and glued on the other piece so that you closed in the little stick and you closed off the back. And it looks a little neater. You can put these in a cute little planter. You can decorate the planter for the season. You could just leave them out. I think I'm going to be using mine for a centerpiece, but I haven't decided what yet. But this is how they came out. If you like, follow for more fun, easy DIYs. The super quick and easy Dollar Tree DIY that you can do for this fall season. I have this sign from Dollar Tree from Valentine's Day. I was thinking about using the back, but I like the little grooves in the front, kind of give it that paneling look. So first I'm just taking off the heart. I'm going to save the heart because it's cute and I can use it for later. To make it easier to paint, I'm going to peel off like kind of the paper that it has on front. You want to try to get off as much as you can because it will take the paint different. Like that part right there takes the paint different than if you peel off most of it. But I'm just going to give that a couple of coats. It kind of still has like a distressed look because it doesn't suck up the paint like super well, but it does take the paint. I did around the front and the sides. You don't really have to worry too much about the grooves because I'm going to be painting them a different color, but you can paint yours the same color if you want. I'm going to paint mine with this brown, just getting there. I'm not being super neat with it because then I'm going to go over again with some more of the cream light color just to give it kind of like a distressing look. But yeah, this is really simple, really easy. You can also give it a little sanding if you want to help along with the distressing look. A nice crackling effect would be cute on here too. You can do this in so many different ways, but I did mine this way, just real easy, real simple. And like I said, just a little bit of the brown, and then I went over it again with the cream just to cover up, just because I just wanted the details and the grooves to come out. Now I have these pumpkins from Dollar Tree and they're like a styrofoam. I'm going to cut right behind the stem because the stem is kind of thick and I want to leave the stem intact. And then that way I'll have different size pumpkins to lay on here. So I have this one that is just like a little bit smaller than the other. And then I have the front of it with the stem intact. And once you're done, you'll have 4 total pieces. They all 4 fit on the sign. You can do less and then add some other details to the sign, like some nice pretty ribbon, different things like that. But I'm just going to take a ton of hot glue once I decided where I wanted to place it at and just hot glue those on. You can hold it down for a little bit to make sure everything does stay in place. And it's really just that simple. I realized the little stems that I was going to use, these little wood stumps, they're too long for the placing. So I'm going to use something else, but I'm just going to take some Spanish sea moss and put it around the stumps that I do have and then around the stumps that I'm going to make in a second. So the Spanish sea moss, I got that from the Dollar Tree too. So I'm just gluing that down and you just hold it. Be careful with your hands because it does come through a little bit. I have this wood block from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint that brown, and then for the top on it, I used a wood bead from the Dollar Tree. The same ones I'm going to use on the handle there. But I'm just going to take the Spanish sea moss again, just like I did with the other, but just I'm putting it on first. And then I'm putting the wood block on top of it. But you can do this the opposite way. You can do it so many different ways. But the Spanish sea moss just gives it like a whole nother fall look. Love it. I did try to use one of the transfers, the rub transfers from Dollar Tree. And for some reason, when I first used these, worked so well. It works best on flat surfaces. It's not working well for me anymore, but I thought that would have been cute. I thought about adding some wording, but I just went along with just the sea moss, the pumpkins, and then some ribbon and twine. So I just made a few little bows, just like simple rough bows to just give it that rustic look. You can make some really cute bows. You can use some fall print. Dollar Tree has a lot of cute options out right now. But I'm just going to make 4 of those so that I can put those on the pumpkin. And then I'm taking the string that the sign did have to hang, and I'm taking some Dollar Tree beads. I'm not going to stain them or anything. I'm just going to leave them just the color that they are. I'm going to put those on the twine from Dollar Tree, the one that was already on the sign. I'm just putting a few there, and then I'm just going to hot glue that back onto the back. It was originally with a staple. You can staple it back on if you want, but hot glue works for me just fine. And I attached those bows, and this is how it came out. I think it is so cute, so pretty for fall, and you can customize it in so many different ways. So if you like, give it a thumbs up, and make sure to follow for more fun and easy DIYs.